My name is Rosalie Gleeson and I am the principal of Loretto College. At Loretto we are absolutely committed to social justice and in particular to the plight of asylum seekers. Mandatory detention is unjust, particularly mandatory detention for children, and that is why I believe it is not done in my name. These people are genuine refugees. They come to our country to seek help. They come to seek freedom. They come for safety. They are not illegal migrants. They do not have the required paperwork because they can't have it. It's lost and they can't even join a queue. It is our responsibility in a country where we enjoy so much freedom to be able to share that with those who come to us for help. These people have fled persecution. Their only crime is to seek freedom and safety. They should not be behind bars. Australians need to stand up and be counted. We need to be the voice for the voiceless. We have been privileged at Loretto to have educated a number of refugee children. They are courageous young people and we are blessed to have had them with us. We need to stand up and have a compassionate response to asylum seekers. Because of that, we need to be the voice for the voiceless. Mandatory detention is wrong and unjust, and that's why it is not done in my name.
Hello, my name is Michaela Heath.
And I'm Alice O'Connell.
And we're the 2014 Social Justice Leaders at Loretto College, Marrickville. Through both our involvement in social justice initiatives and our education, we have developed empathy for the experiences of asylum seekers, hearing their stories at times firsthand through support services and through visiting a detention centre. We have developed a sense that it is our moral duty to protect those most vulnerable in our community, those fleeing war and persecution, and welcome them to our shores. However, currently Australia is acting with some of the hardest treatment of asylum seekers in the world. Instead of welcoming these mothers, fathers, children and families into our community, celebrating their cultural diversity and life experience, and offering them protection, we are turning our backs and sending them to oppressive detention centres, lacking facilities and the support services so desperately needed. Apart from a small group who are prevented from working and required to live on a minimal amount while having their cases heard in Australia, asylum seekers are held offshore in Christmas Island, Nauru and Manus Island. These asylum seekers have been told they have no prospect of being settled in Australia. The prospect of life spent in hot, overcrowded tents and makeshift huts with minimal facilities, no work and little hope of being united with families inevitably leads to tension, self-harm and violence.
Australia is a signatory of the Refugee Convention, which recognises that all have a right to seek asylum in another country if they have a well-founded fear of being persecuted for reasons of race, religion, nationality, membership of a particular social group or political opinion. Desperate people fleeing violence in Afghanistan, persecution in Iran and civil war in Sri Lanka have sought sanctuary in Australia, and we have exiled them to offshore islands. These people are not country shoppers, queue jumpers or economic migrants. They are men and women, just like us, fleeing war, torture and oppression. These people do not deserve to be imprisoned. They do not deserve to be transported to Nauru or Manus Island. Told, because they travelled by boat, the only means available to them at the time, they will never be settled in Australia. They do not deserve to be held under 24-hour watch, enclosed by razor wire fencing in overcrowded compounds with substandard infrastructure and limited resources. They do not deserve the frustration of incarceration with no foreseeable endpoint. They do not deserve to feel helpless and hopeless, resorting to self-harm and suicide. They do not deserve to die in riots, distressed and frustrated over the detention process, like Reza Barati, aged 23, who died after being struck with a rock to his head during a protest on Manus Island on the 17th of February. How have our detention centres become so brutal that the most dangerous place for asylum seekers, the place that causes the most trauma, is under the care of the Australian government? Asylum seekers do not deserve to be treated like criminals, like animals, referred to by numbers instead of their names. They are human beings. Australia's asylum seeker policy is not saving lives, it is destroying them. This will not be done in our name.